Hello, my friends, hello, and welcome once again to the terrifying Vaughn Manor. Yes, the terrifying Vaughn Manor. Halloween is over, but the horror just keeps going on. It always does here at Vaughn Manor. So, I did a video the other day where I was talking about some classics I want to read in 2022 and beyond, and some crime books and some westerns. So now let's talk about the horror that I want to read, that I have on my plate for 2022, 23, 24, and probably 25. I don't know if it'll go on that long, but I've got a lot of books to read and a lot of horror that I want to get to. So let's talk about them. Let's talk about the horror I want to read. I am doing a Read Every Book by challenge from Stephen King, and that is a lot of horror because this month I should be reading this one. At the end of this month, I'm going to be reading The Dead Zone by Stephen King, and that wraps up the 1970s for Stephen King. And I'll be doing a review of it, and I'll do a 1970s retrospective video because this was his breakout decade, Stephen King, in the 1970s. So that'll be worth talking about. But this is the last one from the 70s. Then I'll be moving on to the 80s, and that's what is going to be what 2022 is going to be full of as far as Stephen King for me, is Stephen King in the 1980s. I am going to get a jump on it, though, because in December I'm going to read a couple Stephen King books. I'm hoping to anyway. The next one is Firestarter, which I really don't remember much about. I remember it mostly being, it's okay. We'll see. Maybe I'll like it better. I don't remember it being bad. I just remember it being, okay. So Firestarter, at least I got this cool copy of it. And then I'm really looking forward to reading Cujo because A.J. Dunn really liked this book. I didn't like it so much the first time I read it. I thought I had too many digressions and went on too long and was full of filler and stuff. But we'll see. A.J. Dunn says it's fantastic. So maybe when I read it this time, I'll have a different opinion. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to reading Cujo. And then comes some other books I'm really looking forward to reading, especially this one, Christine, because I remember really liking this book. I was pretty young when I read this, but I remember liking it quite a bit. And look at this cover. That is like the best cover of this book I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of different covers because like every Stephen King book has to have 500 covers, but I like this one an awful lot. This one's pretty great. Yeah. So Christine, I'm looking forward to that one. And of course, Pet Sematary. Man, Pet Sematary. This is going to be a good one. Really looking forward to this one. Now, there's some other books that came out in the 80s that I don't have physical copies of. I do have Eyes of the Dragon. I have a ebook copy of that on the Kindle, so that's how I'm going to be reading it. I've got this book ban thing going on, so I can't buy any more books at the moment, but I already had that. I've had that for a while. I also have Thinner on the Kindle too. Although I think I did order a physical copy of that a while ago on eBay, and that might show up. I ordered that a while ago. Whatever happened to that book? I'll have to check on that. But I do have a digital copy, so I could read that. And is there anything else I don't have a physical copy of? The Gunslinger, I have that on ebook. I do not have a physical copy of The Gunslinger, but I do have that on the Kindle. But I don't remember off the top of my head whether that came out in the 80s or the 90s. I don't remember. Let me know. So, well, Justin will let me know because he's also doing this challenge along with me. But I might be getting to this in 2022. This is a mammoth, so it'll fit right in with my Year of the Mammoths if I do get to this. This book is giant. I remember having really mixed feelings about it. Like I thought there were things about this book I didn't care for. But I remember there being some great stuff in this book. So I'm really looking forward to reading this again and seeing what I think of it now as a senior citizen. So, because I was a kid when I read this. How will I feel about it now as a doddering old codger? I don't know. but we'll see. I hope this year. Now, there are a couple other oddities that Stephen King came out with in the 80s. One was this book, Cycle of the Werewolf, which I'm looking forward to reading. I did read this once before. I had an older copy of it, but I don't know what happened to it over the years. But this one I got a while ago, a year ago, something, and I never read it, but I love werewolves, so I look forward to this one. Also around this time is when he was outed, Stephen King was outed as Richard Bachman, his pen name that he was publishing books under, with Thinner, I believe. And also this one, which I do have a physical copy of. This is the Bachman books. This also has a copy of Rage, I think, which is something to do with a school shooting, I think, or I think that's what it's about, which is why you can't find it anymore. Because Stephen King, disturbed at the way the world is going, as far as that kind of thing goes. Yeah, this is the one that says Rage in it. And you can see why this would be a book that Stephen King probably wouldn't want floating around anymore, considering how the world has gone. But it's in this, so I'm going to read it. Don't know if I will suggest it to you, but I will read it along with all the others. Now, probably what I'm looking forward to the most for Stephen King in the 80s is one of the more fun things he did, which is Creepshow. This is a great comic, Creepshow. Yeah, it's got great moments like this in it. Yeah, this is a great comic, which is a version of the movie. He did a movie. He wrote the screenplay for the movie, but he also did this book with Bernie Wrightson, the greatest horror artist of all time. And they had a good working relationship, these two. They worked on a lot of stuff together. Bernie Wrightson did illustrations for The Stand. He just did Cycle of the Werewolf I just showed you, and he did the art in this. Really looking forward to that. So that's Stephen King. Got a lot of other stuff to read. I've got some suggestions from booktubers. The next one I'm going to read, the next novel that's not Stephen King, the next horror novel I'm going to read is this one. This is Carrie and Comfort by Dan Simmons. This was very kindly sent to me by Book Time with Ryan, a great channel, Book Time with Ryan. And this was the copy that he read. He got a new version of it because he loves this book. And he very kindly sent this to me to read. So it's going to be cool reading the copy that he read. He loves this book so much, Carrie and Comfort. And I really, really look forward to getting to that. And Coffee, Cats, and King, another great channel, sent me this, Witch House, which I was going to get to on Halloween, but, well, we know how Halloween went. I was reading The Stand and nothing else. So I will be getting to this one, I hope, soon, because this is a very rare book, and it was very kind of Coffee, Cats, and King to send this my way. And, of course, the Dark Prince of Booktube, Juan at Plagued by Visions. Prince Juan sent me Jack Ketchum's The Girl Next Door. I must be the only person on Booktube who has not read this book yet. I hear it's a barrel of fun, just a feel-good, rollicking joyride of happiness. The Girl Next Door. Nice, cozy book, I think. So I'm looking forward to that. And he also sent me 2 other Jack Ketchum books. He sent me Off Season, which I think was Ketchum's first book. Am I wrong? I think it was, though. I think he mentioned that. And he also sent Offspring. So I got some Ketchum to read, which will be fun. I hear he's a delightful writer. Now, a book that I've been waiting forever to read, it's been on my horror TBR since March, is this big one, Blackwater, a novel, the epic novel by Michael McDowell. Michael McDowell, one of the greatest paperback original horror writers who ever lived. A great Southern Gothic horror novelist, wrote a bunch of good books. He wrote, this was actually a series of books. It was like a serialized novel, and there were different parts. And I found a paperback copy of the first part of this book, and then never found any of the other parts. The first part was really good. I remember it very well. And so I actually have this whole thing, and I haven't read it. I don't understand why I haven't read it yet. But it's a beautiful book. I love the artwork on it. It's just beautiful. And so I was really happy that this one came out in a nice hardcover, and I have the whole series. Definitely want to read it. It's not quite mammoth size. I think mammoth size is 800 pages or more to be an official mammoth. Doesn't quite make it. This one does, though. This is The Dark Descent, one of the greatest horror anthologies of all time. The legendary horror anthology, The Dark Descent. The book I was supposed to read in October. This was going to be my October book. But Stephen King ruined my life by making me read The Stand all month, pretty much. So I didn't get to read this as my October book. So got kicked down to next year. I might not wait till next October, but I might. We'll see when I get to The Dark Descent. But I really want to read it because just the table of contents is amazing. It is a mammoth, so it fits in with my mammoth plans for next year. So good. And then I've got some other stuff. I still have ongoing my Retro Necro, the Necroscope retrospective, where I'm reading through the Necroscope series. I was originally only going to read the first 5, but now I'm going to read all of them. So I ordered a big ton of Necroscope books a while back. I got a pile of Necroscope books awaiting me. This is the 3rd one, The Source, and look at that beautiful cover. He did such great covers for Brian Lumley. Got the step back. I don't know what this creepy lady's so happy about. I have no idea, but we're going to find out when I read this one, Necroscope 3, The Source. And like I said, I got a pile of these. But I also have a couple Brian Lumley short story collections. I got this one. This is The Whisperer and Other Voices by Brian Lumley. I haven't read any of this guy's short fiction. And then, of course, Juan and I both, at the very same time, bought this book pretty much. I think it was pretty much the same time. Fruiting Bodies and Other Fungi. I mean, how could you not want to read this book with that title, this cover, and it's supposed to be Lovecraftian stories? Sign me up, man. I'm all for that. And still other stuff. Still other stuff to read. I want to get to this one, which I didn't get to when Juan was doing his Book of the Month Club choice for this, which was it in October? I can't remember. I think it was. But I didn't read this one, The Case Against Satan. I read one of his books. I read The Fog that month. But this one I didn't get to read, so I definitely want to read it because I hear it's pretty good from Ray Russell. And Ray Russell has another book from Penguin that I talked about before, which is Haunted Castles. This is The Complete Gothic Stories by Ray Russell. Again, supposed to be great. And look at that fantastic cover. Definitely want to read that. There are a couple other books. Let me just get them over here. One that I've been putting off for some strange reason, I don't know why, because I really want to read it, is this one, The Only Good Indians. And I also have his other book, My Heart is a Chainsaw, somewhere. I think it's up there on top of my bookcase. I'm not going to get it right this moment. But The Only Good Indians is the one I have to read first, because I've been wanting to read this since before I got on Booktube. I wanted to read this one for a while. Another one that I've wanted to read for a while is this one, A Lush and Seething Hell, from John Horner Jacobs. This is definitely one that I want to read. And I've wanted to read this for a while. It's like 2 novellas put together in one book. It's supposed to be good. I've got some recommendations here. I have a couple, and I don't remember who recommended them to me. So if you're watching this and you recommended this book or these books, let me know. Cold Skin. Someone recommended this in the comment, and I'm like, I can't remember the name of the person who recommended Cold Skin, by Albert Sanchez Pinol. This was made into a movie that you could see on Shudder, but I have not read the book, and it sounded like something I'd want to read, so yeah, I'm going to read that. And who was it that recommended this, The Last Werewolf by Glenn Duncan? I feel like I should know who recommended this book. But I read a little bit about this book, and it sounds great. Sounds like a great werewolf book. part of a series or trilogy or something. I don't know. I can't get the next one until I've read 100 books because of this book buying challenge that I'm doing, and I can't like not do it. Otherwise, CriminOlly will hunt me down. So yeah, The Last Werewolf. So looking forward to that. Now, who recommended this to me? Remind me. I'm old. I can't remember things. I do remember the Bookish Report recommending a bunch of books, though, that I haven't read yet and I need to. And one that I've been wanting to get to forever is this one. This is Weird Woods that the Bookish Report recommended to me. Tales from the Haunted Forests of Britain. He read this and gave it a good report. Now, no one's a tougher critic than the Bookish Report. So if he gives a good report, it's probably pretty good. He doesn't mess around when he gives a report. He also recommended this one, and he's recommended this for a while. The Woman in Black by Susan Hill. And he recommended another one that I've got. Was it the Coffin Path? Yeah, the Coffin Path, which I've got way up there, along with some other books. And I don't remember who wrote it. And I can't see because I don't have my glasses on. I'm just so old. And I've got The Woman in Black here, though. Susan Hill, I can see that. He gave this one a good report. Definitely want to read it. And Vin at Revenant Reads, he recommended this one a while ago, The Monster Show. Definitely want to read it. A nonfiction book about horror and horror films. It's supposed to be a great book about horror films. I love horror movies, like more than almost anything. So, yeah, I think that might be it. Wow, I think that might be my entire list of horror books to read. I've still got to do one of the... This is ridiculous, I know. You can see how I'm not going to get too much of the... How much of this will I get read next year? I have no idea. Probably not much. But within the next... It's like a 5-year plan, all this stuff I'm showing you. It's like a 5-year plan. I'll get it all in eventually. But let me know if there's something in there that I should like bump to the top of the list. Like, hey, don't wait till 2024 to read that. Read that like next month. If there's something like that here, let me know. Let me know. If you demand I read something quicker, I'll do it. Yeah, let me know. Okay. That was the horror. The horror. I will see you next time. I will have another... I have to go through some more boxes from the books that time forgot. I am going to be going through my entire library of books and showing it all to you. So I'll probably be doing more of that tomorrow. I got another couple boxes to do, probably. Yeah. And going to be doing one of these on science fiction and fantasy. I'll see you next time, guys.